CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest on the violence between Israel and Iran. Leaders in Europe are trying to stop the war from spilling out across the wider region, while President Donald Trump considers American military intervention. Heather Wright has more on the talks and strikes from both sides.
This is the aftermath of an Iranian strike on the Israeli port city of Haifa, as both sides exchanged fresh attacks for the 8th consecutive day.
Mr. Minister, how are you, sir?
Well, in Geneva, Iran's foreign minister arrived for a meeting with top diplomats from Britain, France, and Germany. A meeting that ended with no signs of a breakthrough. Iran was urged by the Europeans to make significant concessions to its nuclear program, but said there is no room for diplomatic talks until Israel stops its missile strikes, something U.S. President Donald Trump said was unlikely.
I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing.
Trump says he wants to be the peacemaker in this conflict and will decide in the next 2 weeks whether the United States will join and provide Israel with the bunker-busting bomb it needs to hit Iran's nuclear site Fordo, which is buried deep in a mountain.
If they launch that bunker buster, now we got United States, in a war with Israel, fighting against a power that called Iran that wants to have a nuclear capability. It could then potentially draw in Russia. It could, raise the dander of China. This would change the political calculus tremendously, and I don't think anybody wants that to happen.
Global Affairs Canada says it is organizing flights in neighboring countries, urging Canadians in Israel and Iran to head to Jordan, Turkey, and Armenia. Hi, Hossein. Hossein Hodabash is among the many trying to leave Iran. He's not Canadian, but has lived in Toronto since 2019 and has a valid work permit, but his temporary resident visa recently expired. He's now stuck in Iran and doesn't know when he'll get out.
When the war happened, it was like just a nightmare. I don't know about the future. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Airspace above both Israel and Iran is closed, and while Canada has an embassy in Israel, it has had no diplomatic ties with Iran since 2012, further complicating efforts to get Canadians out of the country. Heather Wright, CTV News.
One of those Canadians trying to leave the region is from southwestern Ontario. As Travis Fortnum reports, he traveled to Israel for hockey, but he spent the last week in a bomb shelter.
Windsorite Panyotis Mavridis landed in Tel Aviv earlier this month, where he owns and runs a team in the Israeli Hockey League, thinking it was safe enough to be there. But that changed on June 13th, when conflict between Israel and Iran flared up, sparking new fears of a wider regional escalation.
We had sirens during the day, I think twice today, but during the night we actually got a good night's sleep for the first time in a while.
He called the embassy right after the first strikes, but a week later he's still waiting for a way home. The response leaving him disappointed.
They basically told us that not to rely on them and stuff like that. Basically that they had no plans.
With the hockey season suspended, he and other Canadians in the league have put all their focus into finding a way out. Global Affairs Canada says it is organizing flights in neighboring countries, urging Canadians in Israel and Iran head to Jordan, Turkey, and Armenia. Mavridis says that travel comes with many risks and no guarantees.
Every other country is doing stuff for their people that are stuck here, and we were just kind of left in the dark for a bit.
Back in Windsor, his mother Vassie watches the headlines and waits for his calls.
I want my child out of there as soon as possible.
While he keeps pressing officials in Tel Aviv, she's been calling anyone on Canadian soil who might be able to help.
We reached out to Kathy Borelli, and she told me that they're doing whatever they can to have an evacuation plan and see what they can do to assist them.
Finally, last night, a small step forward.
They emailed all the people who are in Israel and are Canadian citizens, and they said that they are going to start making plans for commercial flights for the people stuck in Israel. So we haven't heard anything since then, so there's no updates on that, but we did get news.
Canada has yet to launch a formal evacuation, instead looking at commercial flight options for those still in Israel. Mavridis is hoping he'll hop on one before long, bound for home.
My birthday is on June 30th, so hopefully I'm there for that.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
The House of Commons passed Bill C-5 late tonight, a controversial piece of legislation meant to speed up major project approval across the country. As Rachel Aiello reports, that piece of business got done just as the House rises for the summer break.
Carried. It was a late-breaking parliamentary victory today for the federal government. The Liberals' contentious One Canadian Economy Bill C-5 cleared the House of Commons, thanks to votes from Conservatives.
The real work begins now.
For days, opponents called Prime Minister Mark Carney out for rushing the legislation at the expense of Indigenous consultation.
Violating UNDRIP, violating environmental standards, violating the health and safety of workers.
Immediately after the bill passed, Carney sought to ease those concerns.
The first thing we will do to launch the implementation of this legislation in the right way is through full-day summits with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis rights holders, leadership, and experts.
The Prime Minister now plans to start meeting with Indigenous rights holders in July, promising these meetings will include public roundtables.
To build in a truly Canadian way, and a truly Canadian way is in full partnership with Indigenous peoples, which this creates the ability to do so, in fact creates the requirement to do so.
As Carney was making this announcement, MPs adjourned their work in Ottawa until September. But there will be no break from politics this summer, with the opposition promising to keep the pressure on.
We'll see what happens now. We want to see whether or not Mark Carney and the rest of the Liberal government, who have spent years fighting against the energy sector, if they can actually get results.
Bill C-5 is now before the Senate, which is expected to sign off on it by the end of next week, leaving other pieces of legislation lingering until the fall. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A city-appointed task force says councillors should be paid like full-time public servants. Rita Ismail has more on the draft recommendations proposing significant pay hikes and redefining the very job description for a city councillor.
London's Council Resourcing Review Task Force says the job of city councillor has evolved and the expectations need to catch up.
We are going to recommend adding to the councillor role description is a section that clearly outlines that this is a full-time public service and that councillors are expected to make this their primary occupation while they're in council.
The task force also says the compensation rate should reflect the demands and complexity of the job. London's councillors earn 24 to 31% less than those in comparable Ontario cities like Hamilton and Windsor, with a base salary of roughly $65,000.
We are looking at the possibility of suggesting a significant increase in base income. We don't have a number yet. We've put it out to staff to look at some possibilities. But we still want to base that income, we want to base that compensation on incomes that Londoners make.
Deputy Mayor Sean Lewis says he's not surprised at the draft recommendations.
We look at all the factors. London's actually at the bottom of the barrel. And if we want a good, full-time, focused on the well-being of the city council, you know, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for, and you have to compensate adequately so people can do the job.
8 of the 14 councillors responded to a recent survey, reported working on average 52 hours per week. They all agreed the role should be full-time.
I mean, we're still working through the 412-page planning committee agenda for Monday that I just got yesterday. The workload is just getting bigger and bigger.
The task force is also recommending that councillors serve on 1 to 2 standing committees, 3 external boards. Committee chairs receive extra compensation, and to retain the additional 12.5% compensation for deputy mayor and budget chief.
Makes a lot of sense. It balances out the fact that right now we have people serving on 7 and people serving on 1. And says, you know what, everybody's got to carry their fair share of the workload here.
Currently, councillors set their own performance expectations with few rules regarding attendance, communication with constituents, and participation on external boards and commissions. The task force's recommendations must be sent to the Strategic Priorities and Policy Committee for council consideration no later than October. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
A motorcycle rider suffered life-threatening injuries crashing into a vehicle east of London this morning. Police say the motorcyclist slammed into the side of a Mercedes sedan around 10:30 a.m. It happened at Dundas and Shaw, which was closed for the police investigation. Police say their initial investigation indicates the person driving the sedan was turning left onto Dundas when the eastbound motorcyclist hit the driver's side door directly. However, they say they have not established which person had the right-of-way at this point.
As a result of the collision, the motorcycle rider was transported to hospital with life-threatening injuries. The driver of the passenger vehicle was not injured.
One person was killed and another seriously injured in a crash north of Exeter this morning. Emergency crews were called to Highway 4 in Hurondale, reporting 2 heavily damaged vehicles, one of them upside down in a ditch. Police say an air ambulance was dispatched, taking the injured driver to hospital. A collision reconstruction team was on scene investigating in the hours following the crash. Police also say a bystander tampered with the crash scene, interfering with their response.
Yeah, for sure. There was an individual that arrived shortly after the collision and started to move debris around on the roadway from the collision. And we want to make sure that people do not do that. Please leave the debris there. That's important information for us when we do rebuild the collision and try to figure out what happened.
The assault case against a high-ranking London police officer has been put on hold for the summer. Ottawa police have charged Inspector Ryan Scrivens with 1 count of assault related to an altercation they say took place Family Day weekend in Ottawa. He faces a separate assault charge for an alleged incident in Toronto. Scrivens' lawyer appeared over Zoom this morning requesting disclosure from the Crown. The 25-year police veteran is currently suspended with pay. The case was adjourned for 12 weeks with the next court date set for September 12th. Provincial police say they've arrested a suspect accused in a fatal hit-and-run in Hanover. According to police, Cody Bloom was arrested last night in Walkerton. Police say a 66-year-old woman was killed by a driver on June 11th, who later fled the scene. The car was eventually found abandoned and destroyed by fire. Police say Bloom remains in custody with a court appearance set for next week. A warning from provincial health leaders as parents get ready to send their kids to summer camps. Measles cases are spreading at rates we haven't seen in decades, and they don't want those camps to turn into super spreaders. Allison Hurst reports.
As summer camps get ready to welcome kids, they're taking extra precautions amid surging measles cases across the province.
We're just putting all the systems in place so we can train our staff what to look for in terms of symptoms or anything that needs to go to the health center. We're encouraging parents to look for signs and symptoms.
Camp Robin Hood is part of the Ontario Camps Association, which held information sessions with public health in May.
We've gone through an extensive exercise of getting families and staff to submit their official public health records.
Other camps across the province are doing the same thing, requesting vaccine records from all campers ahead of day one.
There's a lot of excitement. There's also, some uncertainty.
Health Canada's most recent report from June 16th shows the country has more than 3,100 probable and confirmed measles cases, a 27-year high. Ontario makes up more than 2,100 of those, an exponential increase since 2013. Nearly 90% of those are unimmunized.
We have heightened our protocols and our training around signs and symptoms of outbreaks.
In Waterloo Region, if a measles case is linked to a camp,
set up a clinic as soon as possible in order to any campers that needed it, if their parents consented, would be able to get that vaccine in a short period to allow the camp to continue.
York Region is urging parents to ensure their kids have had both doses of the vaccine before going to camp, saying it's free, safe, and effective. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Canadian researchers are shedding light on air quality across the country, focusing on pollutants. As Sean Leathong reports, it's much more than just wildfire smoke causing concerns.
Whether it's the typical pollutants you may know about or the ones less common, a new study from Environment and Climate Change Canada is taking a detailed approach to learning what is in our air for 2 reasons.
One is to understand all of the pollutants that we're exposed to in cities, and the other is how that mixture varies from one location to another in the city.
Elizabeth Gallonneau is a research scientist and one of the study's authors. She says pollutants like exhaust from vehicles are present, but the study also found another type of pollution around roadways.
Microplastics near a highway site, near Highway 401, we were having very elevated levels of plastics there that we think are coming from tire wear.
So when the rubber meets the road, microplastics are released into the air, and the study finds that the quality of air really depends on where you are in the city.
Especially the sort of difference between being near a road and away from a road, not too far away, or the difference even between a park like High Park versus the green space at the University of Toronto Scarborough, where the levels were quite a bit lower.
While the typical smoggy days of summer may seem like a jumping off point, this study started by focusing on the Air Quality Health Index, or AQHI, in a 6-week period over the winter from January to March of this year.
There were days that had moderate and even high risk AQHI values, and that's not as expected in the winter as it is in the summer.
And they're focusing on even the slightest pollutants in the hopes of understanding how they interact with the environment around them.
Like personal care products, the things we use in our shampoos, our soaps, or to clean our homes.
This is just the first bit of information as the study will continue. The potential is to help us understand our relationship to our environment and to plan in the future. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
The second annual Tenant Support Fair was held today at City Hall. The fair was launched last year by Lifespin, an organization supporting low-income families. This year's event was fully sponsored by the City of London, inviting numerous agencies to take part. Renovictions were among the biggest concerns raised last year when landlords used renovations to force tenants out. Organizers say a new city bylaw is addressing those concerns, but there are still challenges with the system in finding suitable accommodations.
It's a very complex system, so if we can help people navigate it, that's our main objective today. So in one room, we have all the different agencies, so people can easily walk about. Today we've been able to say, oh, I know who could help you. Let me show you, let me introduce you to that right person. So it's really helped people instead of, oh, that person halfway across town, you should go chat with them. We're all in one space, one room, easy to navigate.
What started as an April Fool's joke turned into a full-blown rebrand tonight for the London Majors.
It started in October with ownership saying, hey, I went to them and said, hey, let's do something fun. And they're like, okay, we'll listen to ideas. And when we presented the Cobra chickens, they're like, okay, let's build on it.
According to team officials, there was such a positive response for the Forest City Cobra chickens. The prank turned into actual jerseys and merchandise. Thousands of fans came out to the game at Labatt Park tonight for the special one-off event against the Welland Jackfish.
We sold 1,300 tickets before gates even opened, and that's not including season ticket holders. So having that in the stadium is going to be more fans than an average game for us just before even people are buying them at the gate. So we're probably looking at almost 2,000 fans just in the stadium, and everyone loves it. The ideas that it's come out with, fans are saying, hey, you should get this gear, you should get this gear. Everyone's loving the Cobra chickens now. It's become a phenomenon across the city.
Amaril's rounding third, slips, and Ken Sugi is going to walk it off for the second time this week. Ken Sugi, with one at-bat, wins the game for the Forest City Cobra Chickens.
Jaws, how the iconic film changed Hollywood and put an endangered species in the spotlight. Canada's main stock index lost steam through the trading day, closing lower. The TSX was down 8 points. In New York, the Dow gained 35 and the Nasdaq fell 98. The Canadian dollar down a modest 0.03 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold dropped $22 an ounce. Oil added 34 cents a barrel. Middle East tensions are raising gas prices. Paul Hollingsworth has more on the increases, which in some parts of the country have been significant.
Diesel prices in Nova Scotia have jumped again for an overall increase of 16 cents per litre in just 7 days.
It's life, right? You just got to pay what you got to pay.
The cost of diesel is up across Canada, with more increases expected. Gas prices are also climbing this week, an eye-popping 18 cents per litre in Northern Ontario, with a national average increase of 5.7 cents.
I left gas prices at $1.04 in Ontario a litre,
and I've been paying $141, $142 since I got here.
The ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel continues to cause market instability, which is affecting supply and demand for oil.
The trend will likely continue to remain upward until there is either a halt in escalations or de-escalation.
Any increase in fuel cost requires fast action by the trucking industry.
The price of diesel typically doesn't have the same ramifications because it's common practice to have fuel surcharge mechanisms in place with customers.
Which means truckers will pass the cost on to consumers, adding another layer of inflation heading into the summer travel season. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. A cluster of storms situated in the upper Midwest Ohio Valley has brought some scattered showers across parts of southern Ontario. The heat and humidity, though, is the even bigger story. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll continue to see a good westerly flow bring us warmth. Heat and humidity making it feel like the mid to upper 30s, maybe even lower 40s on the humidex scale as we head into heat warning territory for this weekend and into next week. The weather stories coming up here on CTV News.
Welcome back. Meteorologist Gary Archibald with me tonight. And as we look ahead to the weekend, Gary, it's going to get pretty hot, it sounds like.
You're right about that, Carlyle. I think it's going to feel like the mid to upper 30s, to say the least, and then into the 40s, maybe Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, still above seasonal temperatures towards the end of next week before we start to see things start to cool off a bit. But the next 7-8 days, it's going to be warm and humid. Today was humid, but temperatures were seasonal. It just felt a lot warmer than 23. Our expectation, 24 for the high temperature of the day, the low 13. We got to 14. Felt like about 28 in the afternoon. Of course, we did have some scattered showers moving through parts of southern, central, southwestern Ontario. A weak disturbance area of low pressure, but the humidity factor, this good southerly and southwesterly flow, jet stream influence there. It's coming up from the Mexican plateau, right over the heart of the Gulf of Mexico. So that's warm subtropical air. It's in place, so it feels like Florida right now. And for snowbirds, you think, oh, yeah, travel a long way. Could have stayed here. It's that warm, and it's just going to get warmer. There's going to be a disturbance pushing through. Most of it, and heavy showers and thunderstorms, will likely run right through Manitoulin Island into Georgian Bay, Parry Sound. So well to the north of us here in southern Ontario, but the Bruce Peninsula could get clipped in the northeastern shores of Lake Huron as we head through the overnight into early Saturday morning. Again, some cells could rumble through parts of southern Ontario further south and into the areas that you see here, certainly along that 401 corridor between London towards Chatham-Kent. Now, a couple of things to remind you of as we look at the 7 days. Heat warnings could be in place. We could be in and out of them over the next 7 days straight. We see temperatures 29, 34, 34, 34, right through Tuesday. Even Wednesday could be close to 30. We're talking about humidex values, what it feels like, 35 to about 42, 43. So staying hydrated, of course, no pets or people in cars left unattended. Just do those things we know we should be doing. Midwest, a similar looking forecast. If we do see some showers, thunderstorms, I think they'll be garden variety over the next, say, 12 to 18 hours. Sunny, hazy, Sunday and Monday, the two hottest days of the year, potentially, at least how it could feel. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, increasing cloudiness, cooling off down to mid-20s, but the humidity will still make it feel like 35 plus. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather, but take it in stride, stay cool and hydrated, and let's look out for each other. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Solidarity Day events were held on the Green in Wortley Village. year's event included a sunrise ceremony followed by the grand entry. And organizers say it was about allowing First Nation communities and allies to celebrate together. There was traditional food, dance, and crafts ahead of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow.
Shows that we're all related. We're all together underneath the great tree of peace, and we're all here to be able to share again from each community and each nation. So that's where we're very blessed when we have Nunavut, Métis, First Nations of all across Canada be able to come here and be a part of this celebration.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, it's been 50 years to the day since the movie Jaws was released. It's a film credited with establishing the summer blockbuster and changing the way the public perceived sharks and the ocean in general. With more on its legacy, here's John Venavalley-Rao.
This shark, swallow you whole.
Undoubtedly the most famous two notes in movie history. Jaws was packed to the gills, not just with memorable music, but so many iconic scenes and legendary lines.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
The tale of a massive shark terrorizing a sleepy seaside New England town, picking off beachgoers, and 50 years ago becoming an instant smash, #1 at the U.S. box office for 14 consecutive weeks and terrifying audiences. Directed by a 27-year-old Steven Spielberg. In a new documentary, he reveals the movie was way over budget and 100 days over schedule.
I was terrified I was going to be fired.
But instead, the film was credited with inventing the summer blockbuster.
It set the template for the way that summer movies were released. Before Jaws, the summer was kind of considered to be a downtime for theaters.
Everybody likes the original poster T-shirt.
In the Martha's Vineyard town where the movie was filmed, they're ready to cash in on the anniversary. But not everyone thinks the film should be celebrated. It instilled a deep fear of sharks that led to them being hunted more and put an already endangered species at greater risk. One man recently swam in the waters where the movie was made to raise awareness about them.
My message to people around the world is we have to protect sharks.
Still, there's been a string of shark scares this week, including a 9-year-old bitten off Florida. And spotted just off Rhode Island, a massive 7-meter-long basking shark, though it poses no threat to humans. Unlike that movie shark, still scaring audiences 50 years later. John Venavalley-Rao, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a great weekend.